It's Dave Johan once again for Punch Out Boxing. Pleased to be joined by a friend of the show, another friend this week. We've had loads of friends on. Sajid Abid, who will be fighting on May the 20th in his hometown, my hometown of Derby. And we've just been talking off camera. You can literally walk straight to the arena where it is. The hall.
I'm planning to do that.
Yeah, do it like Scott Quigg when he fought that time. Do it exactly that. Sajid, how you been? Last time we saw you in action, or we've seen you in action, was recently, wasn't it? In March the 11th, at the world famous York Hall. How was that?
Yeah, so it was my third fight at York Hall, second fight, second eliminator, the final eliminator. Thank God, so I don't have to fight any more eliminators. It went well. It was a good fight against a tough opponent in Mikey Saki, former Southern Area champion and WBC international contender. So it was a high level opponent, and it was a good fight.
Yeah, you got the victory. You're now fighting on home turf. Derby's had quite a resurgence, hasn't it? I mean, with Sandy Ryan, should we just say, winning the WBO welterweight title, the first ever world champion the city's had. Your uncle Asgar is all opening up his gym. Harry Scar potentially going to get it on with Echo. Derby versus Nottingham, potentially. Loads going on for the city, and you're part of that journey as well on May the 20th. What do you know about your opponent? I've had a look. Box rate, we haven't actually got anyone named as of yet.
So my opponent for the 20th, I believe it's going to be Fonz. We're going to have a good little move around. Fonz, he's an exciting little. I can't say little because he's probably bigger than me, considering I'm now a super lightweight. But he's a good fighter. He comes to bring it. He's entertaining. So it's going to be a nice little fight for the hometown. And also bearing in mind, it's been 7 years since I fought in Derby. So I'm looking to put on a good performance.
No, it should be good. I mean, looking at this list of champions at super welterweight, English is held by Lucas Ballingall. Enoch Poulsen has got the European. Dalton Smith for the British, and I take it this is for the final eliminator for the British, is it?
Say that again.
Is this the final eliminator for the British title, Saj? Is it the British title?
No.
Or the English?
So this fight in Derby is more of a stay active fight.
Right.
So,
okay.
It's just to keep me going because there's the Perth bids have been currently set out for the English title fight against Lucas. So I'm mandatory for the English. I'm hoping to fight for that by the end of the year. But it's a waiting game at the moment. So we'll get through this fight, sit down with the team and see where we are.
Yeah, because another interesting fight on the horizon as well at British level is Dalton Smith versus Sam Maxwell, isn't it? Coming up soon. I mean, that one you'll be eagerly anticipating and watching as well, won't you?
Yeah, 100%. Like they're both phenomenal fighters. Maxwell has done his dues. Dalton Smith is up and coming. He's left a good trail behind him of wins. So to think that I am not too far off potentially fighting either one of them, it's exciting considering how if you were to ask me like 5-6 years ago when I was training in my cousin's shed, so do you ever see yourself even fighting for an area title? I was like, maybe with the facilities I currently have, I'm not sure. But fast forward 5 years later, I had that loss in Saudi, bounced back from that, and now I'm in a mandatory position for the English. So things are going quite good.
I mean, in terms of super lightweight, one person that is just blown up everywhere at the minute is Adam Azim. I mean, his rise to fame is quite astounding, isn't it? And no doubt as well, you keep your eye on that because he could be a future opponent, right?
I think Adam's phenomenal. I've sparred him several years ago, and that kid is really good. And you know what? Even though we're in the same division and whatnot, and people would, I'd look at him as opposition. I genuinely wish him the best because he's actually a really good lad as well. So never know. We might meet in the future, but we'll see what happens.
It'll be an interesting one if that actually does happen because two British Asians who sparred each other fighting for a title, and it's good as well because I suppose there's no bad blood, because sometimes boxing is littered with bad blood, isn't there?
Yeah, of course. The thing is that I've always tried to carry myself along, when it comes to my opponents, is I have no issues against them. At the end of the day, we're in a very difficult sport. Boxing is one of the most difficult sports out there, and I respect their hustle. I'm pretty sure they respect mine. And even if they don't, I don't care. At the end of the day, I have no animosity towards my opponent. As soon as we get in the ring, obviously it's a different matter. This is someone who's stopping me from progressing. But as soon as we're out the ring, no issues, mate. I'll be more than happy to take you for a kebab,
Yeah, I was speaking to Azim because I went to see the new gym a few days ago, and he's working on it, and fair play to him as well. He's been working to get that place off the ground. And he mentioned that are you training in Wakefield now? Even when you WhatsApp as well, saying you're coming back from Wakefield, have you got camp set up there, or are you doing bits and pieces?
Yeah. So alongside Dan Gray here in Derby, I'm working alongside Abbott, who is Josh Warrington's trainer as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got a good little team now, and since Abid's been helping me, little small things he's picked up on, and it's brilliant. I can't wait to have a full training camp with him. So it's gonna be good. Our team's going from strength to strength.
Oh, brilliant! I spoke to Jack Bateson yesterday. I don't know if you know Jack, or if he trains up there with you. But he's quite.
I don't know personally, but I know of him. Say that again.
So he trains. He knows Josh Warrington, and it's a good city, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good fighting city, isn't it? Leeds. Up north.
Up north in general, really good. They're a really good boxing city in general. Like, the community there is brilliant. They welcome you with open arms. The new gym I came to, everyone's just lovely. Met some really good stable mates, should I say now? Yeah, it's been really good so far.
Have you had anything to do with Josh yet, or in his comeback trail for the world title?
No, not yet. Josh, I believe he trains in Leeds. Abid trains him in his gym in Leeds. But Abid has another gym in Wakefield where I go train with him. So, the good thing is that the caliber of sparring that Abid will set up for me is, I can't wait.
Brilliant. As a fight fan, no doubt you'll be watching, and I assume you'll be watching Canelo versus John Ryder this weekend on Saturday. Well, first off, are you going to be there, kebab in your hand, watching it live, getting a power nap, and then getting up early hours in the morning, or are you going to do a repeat job in the morning?
Probably a repeat job. I've got to that point where if it gets past 2 o'clock, I just clonk out. I can't, no matter where I am. As soon as it's 2 o'clock, I'm gone. I have nothing in me. But yes, I will probably watch it in the morning. As far as kebabs are concerned, I'm currently on a kebab ban because I'm fighting in about 17 days, and I'm not fighting at super lightweight because I'm too much of fat shit right now. So I'm sticking to welterweight. So I got to stay away from kebabs.
Yeah, Cavendish Kebab will be calling after fight, no doubt. Anyway, so how do you see that fight going down anyway? Because we've asked a few people the opinion on how this goes down, and I think the consensus is the only way that John Ryder can win would be to knock Canelo out in Guadalajara.
That seems it. Look at Canelo's previous fights. He was outboxed by Amir Khan, outboxed by Caleb Plant, outboxed by Saunders. But at the end, it's always the same thing. Canelo catches him with a heavy shot, and then everything goes tits up for him. So, and that's you can tell that's been Canelo's game plan from round one. And I can see that happening to John Ryder. No disrespect to him, but if he how long can you outbox Canelo for before he lands you with a heavy shot? Like, he's taking heavy shots from the likes of GGG, and he's looked at him like it's nothing. So, it's going to be hard to take someone like him out.
Yeah, it's going to be. No doubt. Not no doubt, but clearly we'd love to see those belts on British soil, because then that can open up the door There's so many possibilities. However, the odds are going to be against him, and I for one do want to see John Ryder win, but it will be a Godzilla of a task, won't it, Saj?
It'll be difficult, but boxing's a very special sport where everything can change in a punch. We all talk about how solid Canelo's chin is, but he's human. I mean, I'd like to think he's human, even though half the stuff that he's done is superhuman, but he's still human. So you never know, especially at that weight. All it takes one punch. So see what happens.
Yeah, sometimes you're absolutely right. So moving on from this, then, say you get the victory on May the 20th. When can we see you for because it won't be a final eliminator then, will it? Even though this isn't another eliminator, you've clearly got you've clearly lined up for that. But when will that fight with you and Lucas be, do you think?
So you like saying I'm the last two eliminators have put me in a mandatory position just to clear things up. Now this fight in Derby, to also clarify, is just a tune-up fight. Stay ready. So I'm not inactive for a long period of time. This fight with Lucas could potentially be by the end of this year, but with boxing, you just don't know. So I'll do what I have been doing for the past year and just continue training and see what happens, basically.
I mean, you boxed on arguably what was a massive card on Amir Khan's fight night. Was that against Billy Dibb, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, back in 2019, just not too long before COVID.
Yeah, and it was an interesting night, wasn't it? Because Tiger was there. It was like it was a really good event, and Billy Dibb, our hearts goes out to him and what he's going through, and going through remission and the personal journey he's been on. He's a fighter in and out of the ring, but you boxed on that sort of crowd, which was massive. Do you think the fight with Lucas could be potentially TV? Isn't it? Like that. I mean, Boxer could pick it up and
potentially. I know that Boxer are starting to throw more English title fights on their shows, so you don't know. If it happens, great. If not, no problem. I've still got a job to do, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely brilliant. Just before we wrap this up, then, Saj, have you got anything you want to shout at? Any sponsors or anything? Or?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. To get to the point I'm at now, it couldn't have been done without my sponsors, the likes of JS Tiling. Now, JS Tiling, Josh Slaney, he's actually an old friend of mine from secondary school. And we used to always have this rivalry between us, who was the better goalkeeper. To this day, I think it was him. But because I was just slightly taller than him back in the day, I think I just edged it. But he's been a major help in my career for a long period of time now. On top of that, I've also got Elite Osteotherapy. He's based in Derby, also have clinics elsewhere, but primarily in Derby. He's a really good friend of mine as well, Abdul Detta. He's my go-to guy, alongside the All Day Clinic. And those two collectively, whenever I have any niggles or issues, they both sort it out. He's also a friend, so I've got a good support system. Obviously, got to thank my whole team for getting me to this point. But yeah, and also everyone in Derby for also supporting and getting to help me get to this point. So it's just a good little journey so far we're on.
I mean, no pressure. If you do get the title, that's 2 champions in Derby.
Oh yeah, so, that'll be a bonus, and then I can officially go to the local kebab shop, lay my belt out, and be like, look, the next kebab you make is for a champion, so just make it good.
No, absolutely brilliant. Saj, all the best, mate, from Punch Out Boxing. We'll try and be there on May the 20th. I think I'm actually commentating on your fall that day. But I'll probably catch up with you afterwards or before then anyway, mate.
Oh, 100%, Dave. Nice one, my friend.
Take care. In a bit.
All right, you take care, mate.